I have an embarrassing story to tell you about what happened these past few weekends. Let's get into it. So, it's been about a year since I've been vibe coding, and it is a superpower. Knowing how to vibe code and actually knowing how to code lets you solve problems for other people. And there are few things in this world that feel better than seeing someone else's relief in their eyes when you present to them a solution to a problem that they've been facing that will save them so much stress or such mental work or anguish or anything like that. It feels amazing. When you get that sense of relief from someone else after they use a product that you have built, there's also an opportunity there for you to monetize that solution. At least that's how I think starting applications that make money and indie hacking work. You find a problem and you build a solution for it, and then you charge people for that solution. And in exchange for the relief that they get from using your solution, they pay you. What this means then is you can talk with literally everyone and anyone and ask them what their pain points are, what are some of the challenges that they have in their life, and see if there is a solution that you can build for those problems. So I figured if I just did that with everyone I ever meet, then at least one of those problems will be something that I can build a solution for and then monetize, because many other people will have that same problem. So I started to do exactly that. And I reached out to someone I had worked with in the past, a restaurant owner who owns the best pizzeria in Canada right now, actually. And I asked him what were some of the tedious tasks that were taking up too much of his time that he would like to automate, and maybe I could build an app for that. He went through a whole bunch of things, and then he told me that they were currently using a pen and paper to write their wait list for their store, for their restaurant. And that was not so good, because every time someone left and they had a table available, they had to actually pick up the phone and try and call the person. Sometimes the person wouldn't answer. Sometimes the person had forgotten that they were on this wait list. They just couldn't keep track of things. And since winter is coming very soon, I think even fewer people will be waiting outside. So this restaurant definitely needs a waitlist app, and they are so successful right now that they can have lines that last for like an hour, just so that the people coming can try the best pizza in Canada. So I decide that I will try and build a wait list for this restaurant and the owner, which I do over the course of a weekend. And after I finish building it, I go to the restaurant when it's not too busy, and I don't show it to the owner. I show it to the head of staff, who would be the main person using it. Her name is Pam. So I was like, hey, Pam, how about I show you this app that I built? I ask for her name, her phone number, and how many people she would be seating, because those are the three inputs. And then I add her after she tells me her name, phone number, and seat number, just like a made up scene. And then I try and send her a confirmation text. So the way it works is, once you've been added to the wait list, you have three different buttons that you can press. One is a button that will send you a message, send you a text message to confirm that you have been added to the wait list. Then another message is, your table is ready at the restaurant, please come over. And then the third message is, your spot in the wait list has expired or it's been canceled. And then, those are the three buttons that you can press. So I'm pressing the confirm button, trying to send Pam a message, and it's not working. And I feel completely embarrassed, because, she's the person who would be benefiting from this the most, and it was an absolute flop. It was embarrassing, and I felt so much shame that I didn't even I saw the owner there, and he's always there. He's working nonstop, and I said hi to him. He said hi to me, but I was just so ashamed of it not working that I just went home and it was miserable. Anyway, so the another week goes by, and then I have time again to work on this on the weekend. So I'm up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm at a Starbucks. I'm working through the app and where it went wrong. And a friend of mine, Elijah, he's been coding for like 20, 30 years now. He's really experienced. He comes into the Starbucks in the morning, and I tell him about the app, and we catch up a bit, and I show him my code. He looks at it for like 2 seconds, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, this function over here, it's the cause of the problem. It's not working. You need to rewrite this." And I was like, wow, that was quick. He knew exactly what was wrong with my code. But the thing was that I couldn't take full advantage of what he was telling me because I didn't code it myself. I was vibe coding the entire program. And of course I knew how the program worked and what it was meant to do, but I didn't fully understand it. And that was a barrier to my growth and my learning. Anyway, so I thanked him for the advice, and then I rewrote the program in a certain way to be more stable. And then I went back home, and I texted Pamela, and I was like, "Pam, I'm so sorry that it didn't work. I will do my best to try and fix it again." And then the next day I go back with a working prototype that I want to try again. And, I say to Pamela, "I think I have fixed this. Can we try again?" And I press her number on my screen again, and it still doesn't work. And then I'm like, "Tell me your number again." And then she tells me her number, and it turns out that I had written the number down incorrectly. And that was the entire reason why it wasn't working. It wasn't because, she was giving me a landline number or anything like that. It was because I just had misheard what she had told me her number was. So that was real fun and embarrassing. But it was such a relief to find that it had been solved and that it wasn't a big technical issue. It was just a listening issue. So anyway, now that it works, I show Pam, I show the owner, I show a couple of other people who work at the restaurant, and things are going well. They gave me some more feedback, and so now I'm in like version 3 of the app, and I'm still building it, but it's getting pretty damn close to being ready to go and being tested live. I just need to make some exceptions or add in some error handling so that if something goes wrong, it doesn't just crash and burn immediately. It'll still keep running. It'll just tell you, "Oh, I can't continue working. Please use pen and paper again because I'm not working." So anyway, what are some of the takeaways that I have from this? One is that I got the sense that I was cheating myself by vibe coding these apps rather than building them from scratch myself. And I'm not sure why. I think it's because there's probably some truth to it. You get good at something by improving bit by bit at it. That could be software engineering, that could be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that could be making videos. You try something, you look over your results, and then you see 1 or 2 things that you can improve for the next time, and then you build that. When you're vibe coding, what exactly are you getting better at? Right? And so if you're not getting better, then arguably you're just plateauing and you're just trying different things. But you're not actually increasing the range of apps and products that you can build, and you're limiting yourself in your growth just because of that, which is not good. So I'm starting to think that after a year of vibe coding, it's probably not a good idea for me to rely so heavily on it. I need to be pushing myself and working extra hard, not on vibe coding things quickly, but rather on being able to code a program like the one I built for this restaurant independently without ChatGPT or any LLM writing the boilerplate code for me, because writing boilerplate code is exactly how you learn and you grow your understanding and you grow your ability. So that was one thing. And I'm starting to think that I should be doing that. I should be struggling through the learning process to build this stuff. The second thing is that nobody cares about you more than you do. Don't get flustered. When I showed Pamela my prototype and it didn't work, she just walked away like it was nothing. And it was nothing. But I kind of treated it like the end of the world, like it was a severe penalty had befallen me. But the thing is that she wasn't really paying me for it. She had no expectations. And as a result, I didn't really lose much by trying it. So I shouldn't have been as flustered with myself and as emotional about the failure as I got. There was just no need for it. And if I had tried it with the owner and the others that day as well, I would have found out that it works for them, and I would have been 1 week ahead in development. So don't get flustered if something doesn't work out. Just try it with other people. And that leads me to the third takeaway that I took away from this episode, which is that if you think something doesn't work, make sure you know that it doesn't work. This is like standard troubleshooting, where if something stops working, you have to look at every single step leading up to it and check to see if there's anything wrong in any of those steps. So when it comes to my application that I built, it could have been the phone number that I typed in incorrectly, but then it could also have been the app, it could have been the internet, it could have been the Wi-Fi, it could have been the hosting platform, it could have been the code, it could have been like 18 different things. And instead of thinking rationally about what could be going wrong and troubleshooting, I jumped to the worst conclusion, which is it's just a piece of crap and it's a failure and I'm a failure, which is I think people who are depressed think like that, which is not good. So if you're building something and it seems to have failed, just double check everything, including the phone number, and try over with people. If it feels like you're under a lot of pressure, then maybe there's a better time to demo it or ask for advice. Like maybe going when it's kind of busy is not a good time to demo a new product. You should go when it's like 9:30 or 10 p.m. for restaurants, or the end of the week on a Friday when people are spent from the work of the week. Those, I think, are the three lessons that I'm going to take away from this. I'm going to try and spend more time writing the code myself. I'm going to spend less time being self-conscious about my failure. And I'm going to try and make sure that if something doesn't work, that it definitely doesn't work, by trying it with multiple people instead of just seeing one instance of failure and assuming that it's broken. Thanks for watching.